it's that time again. I'm Susan Feldman, and you're listening to Voices in Vegas with Susan and Friends.
Yes, good morning.
Hey, April, how are you?
Hey, Susan, how are you?
I'm good. This is a good Yom Kippur.
Happy Yom Kippur for all those who are fasting. We hope that you have or have had an easy fast.
And I'll tell you what, I have discovered...
I'm having a really easy fast.
Yeah, well, yeah.
I forgot.
That's off camera. But you know what? Last night I was on the internet and I was looking for ways to make a fast easier. And you know what makes it easier? Is to ask your angels. To ask your angels to help you. There you go. And that's what our show is on today. Angels. We are going to talk about angels, and we are also going to be talking about yoga, my favorite kind of yoga, with Irena Jacobsen. And
we have a full panel today.
We have a full panel. It's going to be an exciting day. And then, of course, we have call-ins.
Yes.
702-483-4444.
And we also have Elizabeth Green that's on today.
Elizabeth
Green of the Indigo Institute of Nevada.
I can hardly wait to talk to her.
I know, I can't.
I want to know everything about indigo because people have been talking about it, and I've gotten different definitions. Mm-hmm. But I've never really gotten somebody to really, and she's kind of like a coach.
She is a coach, and she's been a corporate speaker for years. She's an absolutely fascinating person to talk to. So I'm so glad that she's here and has joined us here in Voices in Vegas. And if you're looking for us online, you can reach us at voicesinvegas.com. Our Facebook fan page will be up, and that will be this afternoon will be up.
Right
so
on.
Facebook.com/voicesinvegas. You can email us at voicesinvegas@gmail.com. And also, where else can you find us? Vegas All Net Radio and
Vegas All Net Radio.
See our archives.
Absolutely. So how's your week been?
My week has been fabulous. It's been a great week. You know, it's kind of,
Mercury retrograde?
It seems like it's subsiding a little bit. I'm sleeping better. I'm feeling better. So, knock wood that, it kind of starts going the other way and things start going forward as they should.
Yeah. So in any case, what else is going on today? Oh, the Pope. The Pope is in. Got to talk to Mary Jo about.
Is this the Pope that got in a fight with somebody at Costco about the Nutella samples? Was that the Pope that? No, it wasn't.
What was up with that story?
I don't know. Some guy.
You were laughing so hard last night.
That was so funny. I don't know if anybody heard about this, but somebody, and forgive me if I don't remember where it was. I think it was down in the South somewhere. But
let's just say Burbank.
Well, just
Costco Burbank.
Costco Burbank.
Picture yourself there now.
Somebody was giving out these waffle cone Nutella samples, and everybody loves a little Nutella. There's always room for Nutella.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Chocolatey hazelnut goodness. So some older man of, the age of 78 took one too many, and the guy hit him in the face. I'm like, really?
Was it another older person?
No, he was like 26.
Oh, no.
He just nailed this guy. He sucker punched the guy for taking too much Nutella.
So no one ever told him about assault and battery and what that involves?
No. Wow. It was crazy. I couldn't believe it. I remember a long time ago, Granny Goose would walk around the markets. Do you remember that? Handing out Granny Goose things? And me and my sister would go and get these Granny Goose little things. Yeah, little tchotchkes, little bags of chips. And the goose would walk around with the bonnet, and so I remember one time we went up like 3 or 4 times, and the goose in a man's voice said, "Little girl, haven't you already been here?" I'm all, no, that was my twin.
That was my other sister.
That was my twin.
Do you remember the Oscar Mayer wiener car?
Yes.
Oh, I loved it when he
I'm all for a wiener on wheels. We would get the Oscar Mayer wiener rings. We would dig our fingers. My mother's like, "We're not buying those. We're buying the kosher hot dogs." So she would have us go and stick our finger into the Oscar Mayer thing and pull out the ring or the whistle. Yeah, it was horrible.
Terrible.
It's terrible.
I always used to just go and they'd give you a whistle.
Yeah, they would, but so it was like we were the hard way. We had to dig through the wieners for our own whistle. We had to dig for our own meat whistle.
All right. Well, I enjoyed
the
morning. Good morning. Good morning. And happy Yom Kippur. Is that even possible?
No. I don't. Do you say happy Yom Kippur?
That's not something that you say happy. It's a day of real seriousness. So, but and really after this, I'm going to shul. But the angels also told me I had to go to work today because we have to have Liz on.
Yes.
Yeah.
I agree. I agree.
And
well, the Jewish Journal last night did a whole Kol Nidre online.
Oh, really?
And it was amazing. There was these chats and people that knew each other and whatnot. I met a couple new friends on there. I mean,
wow.
Like it was really a great way to have Jewish camaraderie. I'm like, I would do this every week. This is great.
For sure.
It was a great little thing.
Wonderful.
So angels were everywhere. It was a good night. The TV was off. You know, we watched that. The boy was in the other room, didn't want any part of it, but
I
went
watched
with the 15-year-old.
I watched a very interesting show on PBS, The American Experience, and it was featuring Walt Disney.
Interesting.
That was fascinating. And the one thing I got out of that was, well, first of all, it's very close to my home because I grew up in Silver Lake, which is where he had his original studios in LA.
Right.
Which is right next to my alma mater, John Marshall High School, class of 1977.
Rah, rah.
Tanya Claycomb, are you listening? Terry Martin Newgard, are you listening? Told you I was going to give you a shout out. Anyway, the cool thing about him was the way he developed his products was that he would disguise himself, not really disguise himself, but he would go into the crowds. And he would listen to what people were saying.
Oh, I love that. What a great idea.
What a great way to
Don't you wish we were in the homes of everybody listening to this now and hear what they were talking crap about us?
Who needs product and development? Or those Imagineers? Just go in the crowd.
Oh, absolutely.
So I thought that was interesting. But how he started from his humble beginnings and how he developed his passion.
Oh, he never gave up. I mean, he was turned down how many times? You know, it's between him and Edison, every great inventor, anybody that has ever done anything, you know, visionary knows that you don't give up. Failure is part of...
That's part of it. That's the whole package.
That's the whole package. The more you fail, the more you know it doesn't work, and the more that you try, you know, apt to try something new.
Right.
Which is all about.
Well, I think Edison
kind of
once.
What we're all about here.
Edison's.
You know?
Yeah, totally. Keep trying.
Yeah, keep trying.
Just
Never give up.
Just keep swimming.
Yep, that's right.
Just keep swimming.
My dad tells me, Norm, who called in last week.
I love Norm. Hey, Norm.
Hey, Norm. He always says, just don't stop breathing.
Yeah. Oh, it's true.
Just keep breathing.
Even in the hospital.
As long as you keep breathing, you're going to have a great day.
That's it. As long as everyone has an airway, I'm good.
Yeah.
The minute I can't hear you, that's when I'm going to start getting like my big pen out and making sure that you have some oxygen coming your way.
I agree. I completely agree. So we have a full panel of guests on today.
Yeah.
So let's get them on here. Let's give a little love to the sponsors and bring them on.
Right on.
All right. We'll be right back with
Vegas and
Take two.
Voices in Vegas with Susan and friends. Come on back. Hi, welcome back. This is Susan Feldman, and we're Voices in Vegas with Susan and friends.
Welcome back, everybody.
I'm here with a studio of wonderful friends, and we are going to speak to Elizabeth Green, founder of the Indigo Institute of Nevada, and who's generously staying on panel with us for questions. Feel free to call us at 702-483-4444.
Welcome.
Hey, welcome, Elizabeth.
Liz or Elizabeth. I've got many names, but welcome. Thank you, Susan and April, for inviting me here today and getting an opportunity to be able to share with others what's going on. I think before I walked in, your next guest and I were really having a chat because she's one of those indigos that I do need to connect with, that I like to connect with. You know, my mission in life is to help indigos specifically, everybody, but indigos specifically, to be able to reclaim their power and be able to recognize and understand and apply their intuitive guidance so that they can realize it's a blessing, not a curse.
Right.
That's incredible. And you've done this for how long? Actually, you're the founder of the
of the Indigo Institute of Nevada. I founded it in 2007 when I made my transition here to Vegas.
And from where did you transition from? Where were you originally?
Chicago. My background is teaching. I taught for 10 years. You know, I've always been on this journey of trying to understand why I saw, felt, heard things that other people didn't. I realized, you know, I was raised in a family. I am a tad older.
Oh no, you're right up there with us. Join us in our little sisterhood.
Ageless, timeless, you know, in the studio.
I did corporate training also, and I was going through and listen. You know, when you're introducing yourself, I was listing the different things I had done and where I had done it. And one of the gentlemen in the front said, "I didn't realize you were that old." You know.
Oh!
Wow, somebody's being bold.
I'm not that old. I'm just really smart, dude.
Especially in the front row.
I didn't realize I was that old either.
We didn't realize he was that much of an inappropriate attendant.
Yeah. Oh, well, you know, I encourage people to be honest with their response.
God bless them.
You know, it seems with your education background that the angels were actually getting you ready to teach what you're teaching right now to the Indigos. I wanted to ask you a question because I'm really into this stuff. Can you explain to me a little bit more about what, for our listeners who don't know what Indigos are? Could you give us maybe a snapshot? Because we hear that word a lot. And even I haven't really gotten the grasp.
And I think people have been a little bit of misconstrued about it. And you were actually in a documentary about indigos that was produced by Doreen Virtue. Is that not right?
Well, Doreen Virtue was one of the experts.
I love Doreen.
She's wonderful. We have her angel cards here today, so
product placement.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Doreen was one of the experts that was also on the Indigo Evolution movie. It's a documentary that was produced in 2003. We talk about light workers. We talk about those who have come in order to bring more light, to bring more understanding. Well, indigos are the latter generation of those. And one of the difference from perhaps the typical light worker is that indigos have a very warrior spirit. They are those who refuse to sit down, the little ones, people. And I guess let me step back just a little bit because I became aware of this particular trait or this particular type of person when I was teaching, because I taught learning disabilities.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, and in the late 70s when I started teaching learning disabilities, that's when this population, this generation started showing up.
So do you start to see a thread of commonality between these people, and you're like, there has to be something?
Correct.
Fascinating.
Correct. That they refused to sit back and just accept the world as it was. They would ask why. And why do I have to do this? Why? Where
do you have to be born during that generation? Because I kind of have that same affliction.
No, you don't. and that's what the misnomer is that many people attach indigos to children, okay? Oh. But you know how the bell curve is.
Right.
It was in the late 1970s, that you started seeing a large population.
Oh, the peak.
Yes. Of this particular generation and personality coming on. but let's see. To get back, I wrote myself.
I'm sorry.
No, please. We keep digressing. We're so curious, It's like, and we're always asking why. I think
totally.
that
That's
we want to know
this is
why.
what the whole show is about.
Yeah, they're exceptionally sensitive to the energy of others. You'll walk into a room and you know that something's happened. Mm-hmm. And you can read the emotions. They're very, I was talking to your next guest that's coming on. She said that she has found herself staying in the house and being away from people because she picks up so many emotions.
I can relate to that.
That can be overwhelming if you don't understand what's going on.
Absolutely.
They have a very strong sense of purpose, even if they don't know what that purpose is. Like I know that, and I am an indigo, even though I'm one of those scouts, perhaps like you, Susan, that came before, to test the waters.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, we were the bulkhead.
Okay.
We were the icebreaker.
You were the OG, you were the OG of indigos.
It's like, oh, thank you so much. I'm so glad to be ahead of everybody else. But to test, we came before. Okay, so they have a strong sense of purpose. They have this internal lie detector. They can know right off.
A BS detector, basically.
Oh, hey, definitely.
So if a parent was going to had an idea of possibly their child being indigo, would these be some of the signs that they would look for?
These would be some of the signs. They also have a difficult time in our traditional school system. Okay. And that is one of the reasons that I am championing the cause and making sure that the information gets out, because too many children have been misdiagnosed as hyperactive. Okay, well, if you're picking up a bunch of energy, okay, what the child is naturally doing, trying to shake it off,
right,
is misdiagnosed as being hyperactive, and they're being given medication, opposed to looking and seeing maybe that child just needs to learn energy techniques in order to be able to drain themselves shield themselves and then drain themselves of that energy. They need to learn psychic hygiene.
Yeah.
Interesting. What a
Let
great
me tell you, as
terminology.
a nurse, I come in contact with a lot of energies, and I really want to talk. Well, now you're one of my fabulous friends, and that's what I love, because you have made my world that much better.
Okay.
Because I have always wanted to find or talk to someone like you who could tell me these kinds of things. Mm-hmm. Oh, you're wonderful, Liz.
And one of the other, thank you very much, Susan. But another trait that is common is an intense anger.
Interesting.
Okay, because they came here
like a defiance, kind of.
Oh, hey, since
stubborn.
You've got this internal truth detector, so you can see through BS.
Oh,
all right. You're not going to accept just do it. And indigos are those ones that will, regardless of their age, if they see it, they're going to tell you.
Yeah.
They're going to call you out on it.
They're going to call you. And they're warriors because they're going to try to make a difference. They will stand up for those that they feel are being mistreated.
I can totally relate to these people.
Okay.
Yes, absolutely.
Completely.
And so, my mission in life is to help indigos really come back into their power and not to be the ones that are
Sidelined.
sidelined.
Yeah, I know
And-
some people that I went to school with who, because we didn't have these kinds of wonderful tools now, got sidelined that he was, like there was something wrong with him. Well, once he grew up and came into his own, he became extremely happy with, his coming into his own.
Yeah, and what many indigos will do is they will, music is flowing
The
through.
angels are talking to us.
Okay. Well, I'm always working with my guides and angels. Is there something that you want me to say? But okay, is it time to shut up? Or what?
No. But I was listening also to who's that Long Island medium. I'm listening to her book on tape, and she was talking about you got to be careful with the signs.
Yes,
from the
you can.
angels because sometimes
I think we're having a sign right now.
it's the high sign.
Yes, it's the high sign. Yes.
The high
The
high sign. So,
but I mean, and you do coaching for these, what is your website? If somebody wants, if a parent sees
Yeah,
it,
that's what I
or if
wanna
a
know.
parent themselves, or if an adult feels like they're, these are some of the signs that I'm, feeling, and I'm struggling in my life path going forward. How can they get a hold of you?
They can go to the Indigo Institute of Nevada, and
that'll be on our website.
Yes.
.com. That would be the website. They can go on there and be able to pull up an article. There's a test that I have on there so they can see if they perhaps are an indigo.
So you have a little assessment.
I have, yes, I
Oh,
do.
I gotta go on that
There's
website.
an assessment, and also, Susan, it breaks it down because there are 3 generations of indigos. Those that came before the primary group and the younger ones that are here now. I work with the primary group who are now in their 30s and 40s. Because they are the ones that I feel I can reach. Those are the ones that, because they're raising these other sensitive children, they really need to understand their own power. They can go, another way of reaching me is through Twitter, following me on Twitter. I am Elizabeth Now. All one word, I am Elizabeth Now. If you text me on that at 22828. 22828 if they text me and put in the keyword I am Elizabeth Now, and that is also my Twitter handle. They can get onto my mailing list.
So it's an automatic mailing list. So it's 22828, and then input I am Elizabeth Now. It'll kick back a response. Please put in your email, and they'll automatically be put onto your email list.
Correct.
Wow, how
Wonderful.
nice.
Wonderful.
Let's see, other ways that they can get in touch with me. I am doing a class that will help those people who have a problem with saying no, who have shut
that
down,
will
working
be very
on their
helpful to our
chakras,
listeners.
and taking back their voice.
And when is this?
That's going to be on October 13th.
And where's that at?
And it's going to be at the Enchanted Forest.
Enchanted Forest
Enchanted
Reiki.
Forest Reiki.
You can buy tickets to that, I know, on Eventbrite. If you Google Enchanted Forest Reiki, you can find Liz's information on there. Purchase tickets immediate for the class. Purchase many tickets because a lot of people don't know how to say no. And we're going to keep Elizabeth on our panel with us. We're going to take a short break and give some love to our sponsors on Voices in Vegas with Susan and Friends. We'll be right back.
Voices in Vegas with Susan and Friends. I'm here with a studio of wonderful friends. We just spoke to Elizabeth Green, founder of Indigo Institute of Nevada, who's generously staying with us on the panel. And if you have any questions, please call 702-483-4444. Give us a call with your questions. Irena Jacobsen is joining us.
Welcome.
Yay!
Thank you so much for being here today. I've heard so much about you from Susan.
Oh, I just, Irena, you're one of my very fabulous friends, and I heard that you are now Elizabeth's fabulous friend, so we're all friends. So that's great.
That's what the whole show is about, is having a fabulous friend. And if you want to be a fabulous friend, get a hold of us at voicesinvegas.com, our Facebook page, Susan Feldman and Friends, Voices in Vegas. And you could also call us here in the studio today, 702-483-4444, and ask a question to Irena or Elizabeth or Susan or me or Lawrence, who's running our board. Thank you so much for running the show for us today.
And if you have a haiku, you're always given priority. So
a haiku.
So let's get to
speaking about cool.
Let's talk about cool. Irena is tell us a little bit about you.
I'm a yogi, so I practice yoga on a daily basis, which has been a passion of mine for many, many years. I took my first yoga class when I was 14, so that's been something that I've been doing a lot of. I also homeschool, and I travel a lot, and I'm raising my family, and I also do a lot of volunteer work and grant writing too.
Yeah.
Busy woman. Busy
Very
woman.
busy. But the yoga that we do, that Irena and I do, is the most fabulous yoga. And you also do yoga with your husband.
I do. We do acro yoga together, my husband and I. He's a Tai Chi teacher. He also moonlights as a physician, but we do a lot of acro yoga together. And then yin is something that I've actually only gotten into in the last couple of years, and it became a passion of mine. First, I thought I invented yin, which I didn't. It was around before my time. But I just was doing yoga, and I would do it at home, my home practice, which to me is very important. And I would love the feeling of my body if I was holding poses for a long time. And I thought, wow, it would be great if they offered a class that you can just lay on the ground and hold poses for a long time. And I looked it up, and sure enough, there were classes in yoga.
Ding, ding.
And so I found a great studio, and I started going, and I had an amazing teacher. Her name's Ashley Wynn, and she introduced me to the whole concept of being able to feel amazing from laying on the ground and holding poses for anywhere from 2 to 10 minutes. So
sounds so relaxing.
Not
only that, but just it seems like it would just be empowering. And
it is. Most of the classes, when I was doing classes at a studio for yin, it was always in the evening. And my first thought was I'm not going to a yoga class at 7:30. That's too late. I'm almost in bed at that point. But and the other thing was that the classes were an hour and 30 minutes. And I thought, geez, Louise, there is no way I'm doing a class for an hour and a half. And I went and I fell in love. And it made me sleep better. It made me meditate better. It made me practice yoga better. I would like to think it made me a better wife and mother. It just made me feel like I wanted to improve in so many parts of my life that it opened up to. I mean, yin yoga is very meditative. So when you're holding a pose, you have to release your mind, or else you can't release your body.
wow.
Oh, I love it. We've gotten together. Instead of having lunch, we'll do yoga, yin yoga.
Oh, I love
and
it.
Oh my gosh, the effects last me for at least 48 hours. It loosens everything up. And it is very meditative, and I love it because I don't have to worry about balancing myself.
Right.
I'm really just simply stretching and balancing, and of course it's always fun to be with someone like Irena, because she's excellent. She's done this many times. So
is this
she
something
is
you
somebody.
teach? Is this something you offer
I
to
do
the public?
privates.
Or
I tend to like being in smaller group situations, so
Yes.
one-on-one works for me. And I also really am passionate about working with people who are already practitioners, so people who already have a practice, as opposed to, I know a lot of teachers, they're open to, whether they're doing a beginner class, and yin is kind of a beginner type of class, but just for me, my passion is working with people that already have a passion for yoga, instead of trying to convince people to be passionate about yoga.
Sure.
So yeah, privates.
It's great.
sweet.
It's a great way to spend an hour.
And how did you get into the acrobatic, or is it the acrobatic yoga? Acro yoga? 'Cause I saw the
guess
pictures
so.
and they look incredible. I don't know if you saw the pictures on the website.
They look fun.
They look so neat.
They are fun. And you know what, with I was when I was growing up, everybody did gymnastics. Like I was probably the only
Same
little
here.
girl that I knew that didn't do gymnastics. So for me to now be doing something that's very acro is so unlike me, and yet it is for me. It's I only do it with one person. I do it with my husband. So I've never done it with another partner.
Right.
And I'm passionate about the fact that for us, it's working on our relationship, our marriage, our friendship. It's a lot about balance. It's so much to do with trust.
I was just going to say,
Wow.
you have to really trust somebody to be there, when you bend backwards or whatnot. I mean, it's kind of like the elegance of figure skating. When you jump
Or
up in the air, or
ballroom
ballroom dancing, that person
you
has
have
to
to
be
know
there.
what your partner
And that
is
timing.
intuitively thinking.
Absolutely.
Yeah, same like country western dancing.
And she's very,
You don't want to get stepped on the foot with a cowboy.
she's very intuitive.
Yeah.
I just met Elizabeth in the green room prior, but I feel like we had a really good connection in the few minutes that we were together.
That's wonderful.
She's one of these indigos who is trying to decide if my intuition is a blessing or a curse. And that's why she works with one-on-one, because she absorbs so much energy. And for her, it's much easier, as we were talking, to be by herself, opposed to going along and picking up all of this energy from others.
I
So
understand
Right.
that. And you do homeschooling as well, which is, I've always been fascinated with. My son, who's 15 now, always says he wants to be homeschooled, and I've always kind of on the fence about that because he is an indigo, and he had Reiki in the womb, and it's like good luck trying to
That's so funny. My husband is a Reiki practitioner, so he always did Reiki when I was pregnant with both of my boys. And so homeschooling is something that I do part-time now. I did do it full-time for 3 years, and now my kids have gone back to a school, although it's not a traditional school. It's
What school do they go to?
They go to Explore Knowledge Academy. It's a charter school here in Las Vegas, and we're so pleased with the school. It's a 4-day-a-week school. So my homeschooling is that I
Nice.
homeschool them on Mondays. For us, it was a great transition because we had been in a traditional school, we had tried private school, we had tried public school, and my kids I just didn't think it was working. And so I pulled them out of school, and literally we took 3 years for our family to just kind of get back to feeling what our groove was and what the best way my kids could learn. And one of my ideas for why I even started homeschooling was a little bit selfish also, because I love to travel and I'm a passionate traveler. And I thought, gee, how can I make my kids come first and yet still get to travel? Homeschooling is what ended up being the solution to that. So when I was homeschooling full time, we were traveling constantly. We did a lot of international trips. I took my kids to Spain, to Morocco, to Guatemala, and we would go for a month-long trip. For instance, in Guatemala, we went and we did Spanish school for 2 weeks there, and then we traveled around the country, and we literally just lived in Guatemala for a month. I wish we could have done it for longer, but and then same
What
with
great memories.
And what great history lesson when you want to learn
you're
about
really
something,
there.
or language, or food and culture. I mean, there are ways to teach children outside that school system
Yes.
that are irreplaceable what they can
Yes.
get in the classroom. And I've
And
always
Liz
believed
knows that.
because the school system is outdated, and I applaud you on the fact, and being such an intuitive, and her husband is too. She's brought through these 3 very sensitive children that she decided to take a stand, even though indigos have the warrior and then you have that sensitive one. And she's one of the sensitive ones, that she's not going to beat everybody down, but she's going to make sure that you don't take advantage of my children.
Oh yeah.
Okay? Don't, the
Mama
mother
tiger. Mama tiger.
that mother tiger, no way, no how. I'll take them away from you. You are not going to hurt my child.
Yes.
And
that's Irena.
okay, so that's one of the traits. That's why it's so important for me to get the message across, because is it a blessing or a curse? To be so intuitive, to be so sensitive. And too many of us, if we're unaware of it, we think it's a curse, but it's truly a blessing. And it's so great that she decided to tap into it and say, no, wait, I know what's best for my child, and this is how we are going to approach it. So
Yeah.
That's exactly how I feel. It just we couldn't figure out what wasn't working, and we had to step away from the situation. And I wanted everyone
And
away
make
from
it
my
work.
children, and I wanted to take over on how they were going to learn. And it was. I applaud people who homeschool from, say, kindergarten. I could have never possibly
bless
been
them.
the type of homeschooling parent that taught my kids how to read and write. My kids came to me knowing how to read, knowing how to write, and I really just kind of took them for those 3 years.
Sort of
when
like
they
your
were,
yoga clients.
I want everyone to know how to do yoga before they come to me. I don't want to teach anyone how to do yoga.
What you're really saying is do your prerequisites before you show up.
Well, it's time consuming, right? It's a lot of
It is.
And I mean, even Elizabeth was saying the one-on-one thing. For me with the yoga, I even when I do a class with you, for instance, Susan, like I'm good for the day. Like for me, that's like I'm good with having worked with one person. A lot of the yoga that I mean from the classes that we've done together, there's a lot of Reiki, there's a lot of meditation, there's a lot of massage. That's a lot of energy for me. I have energy that I give to my family. I have energy that I want to give to myself, and I'm happy to do it for other people. But I would be so selective with who I do it with and why they're coming to me. And it's that quote that when the student is ready, the teacher will come. And it's the same thing. When the teacher is ready, the student will come. So that's where I feel like I am in my life right now in terms of working on yin yoga or yoga in general with others.
Well,
And
it sounds like she has this. Well, it sounds like, Irena, that you have this amazing balance. That it seems like you've worked very hard.
She works
to achieve,
very hard to achieve
know?
it. I know.
I mean, it's like for our viewers and our listeners, what is and I don't even want to say like the trick to it, but what kind of finesse does it take to bring that balance in and to kind of on the same token as Elizabeth was talking about is kind of say no at the end of the day. It's like, no, I'm done. I'm burnt for the day. I can't take it.
I think that it really comes down to fabulous friends.
Well, it is, and I'm just curious about the balance that she brings to her.
She works at it. Yeah.
So balance is something that I work on and struggle with on a daily basis. I have an Instagram account where I post all my yoga and my acro yoga poses. And
do you want to give that out, or do you want to keep that private?
Sure.
Okay.
It's Lady of the Arts. Is my Instagram handle,
and we'll have that on the website
and arts
too.
is a plural with an S at the end, so Lady of the Arts. I was writing a blog for many years, and that was the name of the blog. So now it's kind of.
I love that blog.
Of course,
That's
everyone's always evolving. So now I've evolved to primarily, I just got kittens, so now my Instagram account is I'm like losing followers because I keep on taking pictures of the kittens. But it's
I don't think you've been gaining followers, and that's very popular.
This is also somebody who's not into animals.
I'm not.
Oh,
Animals keep on finding me, and these kittens they found me, and I kind of wasn't so into them for the first few days, and then one of them curled up beside me. We've only had them for about 3 weeks, and that was the end of it. It broke my heart, and I was like, I'm in love with you. I hope you live for 20 years.
Yeah.
Isn't that nice?
But somebody recently asked me on Instagram, how do you find balance? And my answer was what I just said right now, is it's something that I work on and struggle with daily. So I think it's the working on part of it that is
But I think you can
part,
the
because
consistency.
you have to do it every day. And I am a no person. I'm not a yes person. I feel like I'm very selfish with my time. I mean, not selfish when it comes to my husband and kids. I would do absolutely anything with them for them.
I don't think you can give too much time to those.
Yeah.
Right, but when it comes to my time with other people, I'm very selfish with my time, and I've learned to say, I guess it's to say no, to say I'm not going to answer the phone when I'm doing yoga. So what that I'm just at home and I happen to be doing an hour and a half practice. I won't answer the phone, and you know what? Yeah, I was home, but it doesn't matter. I was busy, and it's serious business for me.
Yeah, you have to make it a priority.
Absolutely.
But also I was thinking maybe if we let the angels help us find balance.
Sure.
You know, the angels are helping me with the fast today. They help me with everything. So, Liz, how can I get the angels to come and help us? Or tell our... no, we're not talking about that. Sorry. Never mind.
Well, when you're looking at the angels and asking them to help you, they're always there to help you, okay? I don't think you even have to make the request. They stepped in when you stepped up, and said, okay, I'm ready for you, okay? That they're there all the time helping us and assisting us. The problem is most of us don't recognize that we're being assisted by them. You know, we're getting guidance all the time. Like I said, recognizing that we're getting guidance all the time. And once we recognize that, it's the still small voice. It's not like we have to ring a bell or phone them up. It's just simply saying,
well, you know what? I've noticed that after I do yoga and I'm centered and I'm quiet, my internal hearing is better.
That clairaudience.
I'm the clairaudience.
Well, that's because all of the chatter has stopped.
Yeah, that monkey chatter that we have going all day long.
Yin is so helpful with that chatter because in the olden days when I used to have a problem, I would just end up not sleeping at night and worry about everything. And now I'm able to do yin, which leads me into my meditation, which then stops the chatter. But I for years I tried to practice meditation, and then it really clicked for me once I started bringing my body into the meditation aspect, and that's how it started, was through yin, is making my whole body relax in order to then have my mind relax. And I have been my meditation practice has grown so much stronger since I started practicing yin.
Wonderful.
And like you said, bringing your body into it, opposed to sometimes we think when we're talking to our angels that we need to go out. It's coming down this body of ours and appreciating it. It is our grounding cord and getting rid of all of that stagnant energy that has clogged us up so that we can't hear. We don't have any space to hear. And when we do exercises, holding the poses so that we can drain drain any of the stagnant energy that we picked up.
Right.
I remember my dad always says, and he repeats this over and over again, is worry is a prayer for something you don't want.
Exactly.
And worry is also an insult to your angels.
Oh, my goodness.
You know,
that.
so
Okay.
those are just, two things that go through my head, because I am that person that, I'm the what if. I'm the what if in the middle of the night.
Thank goodness
what
she
if
is.
this? What if that? What if this? And you know what? There are positive sides to it, but there are definitely negative sides that keep me up at night. And that's when I do my parents did yoga. They were hippies from when I was,
My mother introduced me to yoga when I was a child.
Kid,
yeah.
So your mom was a hippie too?
Well, no, she wasn't.
My mom was.
My mom was,
Marty
yeah.
Mimi, Coors beer and a moo-moo.
That's
Rockin'
awesome.
Mitchell
That's
Tarina
great.
Hill.
Michael Tarina, I love you. Michael Tarina in Silver Lake, great place.
Yeah.
Great place.
But getting back to the yoga and the angels, and I wanted to mention that Irena speaks many languages.
How many languages you speak?
I guess if you count English, 4. I speak, my parents are both Polish, and I was raised speaking Polish.
Wow.
And I was born and raised in Toronto, and it's a bilingual country, so everybody has the option of having public school education in in immersion program, and that's what I did. So when I was 4, my parents sent me to an all French-speaking school, and Spanish was super easy to pick up in high school because I already spoke French fluently. So those are my 4 languages. And right now, the only one that I use, having lived in Las Vegas for the past 8 years, is probably, English and Spanish.
Wow.
Habla español.
Amazing. That is amazing.
Yeah.
Well, we've had an amazing panel of guests here. We're going to give some love to our sponsors. We're going to wrap up with Liz and Irena and Susan on Voices of Vegas. Stay with us.
Out for the tie that binds, because you're mine, I walk the line.
Welcome back. Oh my gosh, it's so hard to believe that it's been an hour.
I know. We just came back with some Johnny Cash. I sported my Johnny Cash shirt just for this occasion.
Stand up. I love Johnny Cash. I never was a Johnny Cash fan until I lived in Europe, and I was listening to Radio Free Europe one morning, and Johnny Cash was talking about that Cannonball Run, and I was like, I got to get me home back to United States of America.
He's amazing.
It was wonderful.
Well, speaking of wonderful, we had a wonderful show today.
Yeah. I want to thank Elizabeth and Irena for coming in. And
Great group of guests. What a great dynamic we've had today.
Great
I hope
energy.
that you come back and talk with us more. Elizabeth, start us off and let us know how everybody listening can get a hold of you.
Okay, a couple of things. One, you can go to my website, which is the Indigo Institute of Nevada and .com, and sign up for my mailing list. Two, you can follow me on Twitter at I am Elizabeth Now, all one word. You can text to get onto my mailing list at 22828 and put in I am Elizabeth Now, my Twitter handle, and follow, check out and I'm on Facebook under my name, K. Elizabeth Green.
And all this will be on our website as well, so people can easily find you.
And come out and support me. Like I said, I am doing a workshop on October 13th, Tuesday evening. That'll be on the website. Also, I'm going to be doing a 6-week online program on getting clear as to what your goal is and setting down a plan, especially for those indigos to, what do you want? What do you want? And why do you want it?
Definitely.
And what are you willing to do to get it?
Well, we'll definitely put that on our website too. Irena, how can we get a hold of you?
My email address is my full name at gmail.com. So Irena Jacobsen at gmail.com. And then I post on my Instagram account almost daily. So there's always a new yoga pose or some kittens. And that's.
Do you think there will be another Lady of the Arts?
Did you want me to bring that back?
Well, yes, I loved it. It was a great. I loved reading your blog. There
I
so many.
was a prolific blog writer until I started homeschooling full time and traveling, and that was where my life got in the way. But
I say bring it back, sister.
I say bring it back.
For now, you can always reach me on Instagram at Lady of the Arts, plural arts, and
we'll follow you.
Yeah,
follow you.
awesome.
We'll follow you. Well, thank you both for being here, and we've had a wonderful show.
Wonderful show. Thank you so much for coming and
Thank you
joining
for having
us.
me.
Yeah, thanks for
The
having
angels,
us.
thank you.
It was
And
great.
I'm so glad. And I think that I hope that our mothers out there have gotten a little bit of guilt, so to speak,
Yes.
to help them to make their
on
job
Yom Kippur
easier.
here. And
Yom Kippur.
we will see everybody and hear us on Vegas All Net Radio next week live here at 9 a.m. every single Wednesday.
Every Wednesday.
Or check the Vegas All Net Radio or voicesinvegas.com website for our archives, last week's show and this week's show. And if you want to be a sponsor on the show, email us at voicesinvegas@gmail.com, and we'll see you next Wednesday, 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, live here at Vegas All Net Radio, Voices in Vegas with Susan and Friends.
Adios.
Bye.